So, what does the future look like according to Mark Zuckerberg? Well, based on a recent, incredibly revealing interview, we're going to unpack the world that he's trying to build for all of us. And let me tell you, this isn't just about some new gadgets. Nope. This is about a really fundamental shift in how we connect with each other. And look, the stakes here could not be higher. I mean, think about this for a second. Nearly half of all people on Earth now use a Meta product. Just let that sink in. So when Zuckerberg talks about the future, he's not just, throwing ideas around. He's actually laying down the blueprint for a world that billions of us might really, truly live in. So that leads us right to the core question we're digging into today. What exactly is this future he's building? If we cut through all the buzzwords, what does this next chapter of technology actually look like? What does it feel like? Okay, so the main idea is pretty simple, but it's huge. We are at the end of the smartphone era. Yeah, Zuckerberg is betting everything that the next big computing platform isn't going to be something you hold in your hand. It's going to be something you wear right on your face. He paints this really sci-fi picture of a world with fully interactive holograms. So imagine this. You're in your living room, okay? You're playing a board game with your mom, who lives thousands of miles away. But she's right there as a life-sized hologram. She can move the pieces, she can make eye contact. It's like she's actually in the room with you. See, this is way more than just a better video call. It's all about creating the shared, almost physical sense of presence. So the question is, how do we get there? Well, the key piece of hardware at the very center of this whole vision is a prototype for augmented reality glasses. And get this, some people on the Meta team are literally calling them the real-life Tony Stark glasses. And yeah, this is definitely not some overnight project. Zuckerberg makes it super clear that these glasses are the result of a decade of intense research and development. The biggest challenge, the holy grail, has been to shrink a whole room's worth of tech down into something that looks and feels, well, just like a normal pair of glasses. I mean, the amount of technology they've packed into this tiny frame is it's mind-boggling. You've got these tiny projectors, you've got cameras tracking your eyes and mapping the world around you, and you even have a wristband that reads neural signals from your hand to act as a controller. It's a massive engineering challenge, and it's all in service of one goal: making the technology feel totally invisible. But here's the thing, it's not just about one single device. Zuckerberg actually sees a whole landscape of 4 different product lines. So on one end, you've got glasses with no screen at all, just for talking to an AI. Then you step up to glasses with a small heads-up display for things like notifications. Then you get to the high end, the full AR glasses we've been talking about. And finally, the full-on headsets for max compute power. It's this whole strategy, right? Different features, different price point. But listen, all this complicated hardware, it's really just a means to an end. According to Zuckerberg, this entire multi-billion-dollar effort really boils down to 2 core principles, 2 fundamental human experiences that they're trying to create. Okay, so pillar number 1 is presence. We've touched on this. It's that deep, genuine feeling of truly being there with another person. That thing a video call just can't quite capture. And pillar number 2 is personalized AI. Think of an assistant that literally sees the world through your eyes, so it understands your context and can help you in ways that, frankly, today's assistants can only dream up. Now, this focus on presence, it's not just a technical challenge they're trying to solve. No, it's aimed squarely at a huge societal problem: the loneliness epidemic. The massive bet here is that this kind of technology can actually start to reverse that trend. And the data on this it's stark. Over the last 20 years, the amount of time that young Americans, say between 15 and 24, spend socializing in person has dropped by a staggering 70%. 70%. We are just objectively spending less time together in the real world. And of course, this leads to the obvious, really important question. It's the one I bet a lot of you are thinking right now. If we're all interacting as holograms, aren't we just replacing real connection with something fake? Couldn't this actually make the problem even worse? So Zuckerberg's counter-argument is basically this. The technology isn't replacing some better physical connection that we would have had otherwise. It's trying to fill a void that's already there. He points out that, the average person wants to have 10 friends, but they only have 2. The goal isn't to replace the time you spend with your partner, it's to create a way to spend time with your sister who lives on the other side of the country. But this whole thing raises an even deeper question, doesn't it? Should technology solve every single one of our problems? And this brings us to this idea of productive struggle. the theory that some difficulties are actually essential for our own growth. It's like building a muscle, right? The struggle itself is what actually makes you stronger. So, where do you draw the line? I mean, using AI as a universal translator, that seems like a no-brainer. It's just removing a barrier, unlocking our ability to connect. But what if AI helps you navigate a really difficult conversation with someone? Are you learning that skill, or is the AI just doing it for you? And that's the central debate here. Which struggles are just barriers we should tear down, and which ones are the muscles we really need to build for ourselves? And this whole debate brings us to what Zuckerberg himself says is the single biggest open question for the next decade of AI. It's a question that gets right to the heart of its seemingly limitless potential, and it's simply this: how far can this actually go? Okay, so here's the really crucial point. With older AI systems, you could feed them more and more data, give them more computing power. But eventually, they'd hit a wall. They'd just stop getting smarter. But with this new generation of AI models, we haven't found the end of the road yet. The more data and compute we throw at them, the smarter and more capable they seem to get, with no clear ceiling in sight at all. And that brings us right back to the final big question. And this isn't just for the tech guys, this is for all of us. As our tools get exponentially smarter and this progress feels almost limitless, we have to start asking ourselves, which of our human struggles are actually worth keeping?